was just a regular small town. Somewhere out there in the United States of America. Yes, just a regular small town like so many other small towns that dot the landscape of this great nation of ours. It had its main street. It had its corner diner. It had its public swimming pool. And of course, it had its people. And so ordinary and so American, so Norman Rockwell were these people of this small town that you could look right at them and know everything there was to know about them. For example, you could look at that woman at the end over there, and you could know immediately what it is she dreams of doing with her life, her big ambition. On the count of three, just shout it out. 1, 2, 3. Yes, she dreams about having her knitting business, doesn't she? It's a good business. And this gentleman right in the middle over there, you could look right at him and you could tell immediately that he regrets something that happened in his past. What does he regret? What do you like? On the count of three, shout it out. What is he incredibly proud of? 1, 2, 3. What was that?
Building a credenza.
Yes, that's right. For those amongst us who might not know what a credenza is, why don't you tell us?
It's like a fancy square piece of furniture that you open things, you put things, and you close things.
I know. Yes, that's right. He's incredibly proud of building a credenza. Folks, I tell you, it was just an ordinary small town filled with people like this.
Who dream of owning a knitting shop.
A man who dropped out of school and regrets it.
Proud of building a credenza.
Oh, I just remembered. In fact, there was one way in which this small town was not like any other. You see, in the recent past, this small town was invaded by zombies. Thank you. But not your ordinary zombies, oh no. These were very special, shape-shifting, brain-eating zombies from space with the uncanny ability to assume the shape of the first human being they devour. And therefore, at the beginning of our tale, nobody knows which one of these seemingly innocent human beings is actually an innocent human being. Which one is the mythical zombie killer? The only one with
digital program, The Real Housewives of Trailer Park County, with this breaking news. Police are receiving more calls from local residents on the outskirts of town who are reporting strange activity from various people who they claim to be zombies. The sheriff's office is stating that these calls should not be a cause for alarm, for they are most likely Halloween pranks. Nonetheless, a few animals have...
It's a lot of crying, a lot of late nights, and then of course the baby cries too.
I see what you're getting at. You're just starting off in your new business.
I really wanted to take off. It'd just be so nice to get away from my accounting job and just sit at home and knit sweet little sweaters.
Penny, I like to think of a future where you won't have to account anymore. You could just stay home, knit, run your business. We can have a family, and everything will be swell.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate everything you do for our little family. Speaking of which, have you talked to your boss recently about, moving up the ladder, going further?
I'm a little scared of bringing it up. He's kind of harsh.
But still, you should know your worth. You've been there longer than anybody else.
Yeah, I've been there longer than the boss.
Yeah. You know what? There's having our own business, getting promoted, and who knows, maybe having a little one this time next year.
Would you mind wiping your shoes before you come in?
I'm so sorry, sir.
Thank you, Gerald. Oh, I see you have some imperatives. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir, I took them from the credenza.
You know, it was freshly built by the people in town.
It's an amazing bit of artisanry, I would say.
Gerald, you have been a faithful servant to our house for, well, dare I say it, at least 2 generations.
Please, Mr. Bushel, you flatter me.
No, Gerald, I have to say, I cannot imagine having lived my horrible life without you by my side. When I went to Juilliard, I thought I was on top of the world, and when I fell off the top of the world, straight down to a pit of despair, and, well, you were there to catch me.
Just a coincidence, I was walking by.
It's the Joker.
Mr. Bushel, far be it from me to suggest you open up and reveal anything about your life that you might not be comfortable talking about in front of the hired help, but if there is anything on your mind, I would certainly stand here very stiff and stoic and listen.
Yes, well, of course, you must have heard. I lost my job. I no longer am the musician at the local tavern.
Mr. Bushel, I never did quite understand how you managed to afford downside.
Yes, Gerald, downside.
Well,
But
I
don't
don't-
you worry, you will come with.
Well, how do you possibly lose a job as a musician? They didn't ask about your grades.
No, they found out I dropped out, dear.
Thank you. They did.
They did.
And that mattered as a musician?
Apparently.
That's puzzling.
I know. There, downtown in small middle America, they care about their music.
Well, I'm the only one that cared about you dropping out, and I think it looks good on me now.
Oh, dear. Well, I don't want you to fear. We will live a modest life.
With a butler.
Yes, of course. I can't build a butler without a butler.
But the house, sir, surely you're not going to need to sell Bushel Place.
Well, of course I'll need to sell Bushel Place. I know. What?
It's my house, dear. We don't need to sell. You will just have to move.
I had not considered that. Dear.
Mr. Bushel,
Yes.
might I be as bold as to suggest you move in with me? Why, I have a 2-bedroom flat on the other side of town. I go there on weekends when I don't have to work here. There's an extra cot, and by gum, I've been thinking it would be fun to have a roommate.
That sounds fabulous. You could move in with our butler.
Yes, but dear, am I getting the sense that you do not want me in the house?
Oh, no, I love having you in the house. But it's
Not yet.
Come, let's go down to a sleazy tavern and drink out of dirty mugs. You hear that? Dirty mugs!
Emily, darling,
Sweet.
could you please bring my tool belt from back in the corner over there? Well, it's about time that he learns the family trade and craft. George, you're gonna be 21 years old next week, and I think this is the best time for you to hop on board.
I've been apprenticing under you my whole life. It's real old timey.
Yes, you have.
Should I use the wooden mallet?
That's right. There you go, beautiful. Just Along the line, no, along the line, there it is.
Smile.
It's just like a tradition, but bigger. It's just bigger.
Emily, it's about time we tell them why we can't say the A-word. But there was a little note by his side that said, if you ever encroach on the armoire business again, this will be you. And I promised myself, I vowed that day to never even say the word. Well, you know what it is.
Fancy dresser.
That's why we started eating credenzas. And from that day forward, the Johnston family only makes credenzas. Because I definitely would never want to see you in the delicious pool of your own blood. No, of course not.
I mean, well, what about an ottoman?
Only credenzas, son. Now the Ottoman sounds like armoire.
Son, why is it that you feel that you must separate from your father and his dream?
All right, I guess if it's time for honesty, it's my turn.
Do we need a drink?
I think so.
Spit it out, son.
Well, Dad, you know how you've been making credenzas at a breakneck pace, and you've been going in the way you call your fugue stages and finishing them without even knowing how or why. Well, that was me, Dad. I've been getting up in the middle of the night and finishing your credenzas, like one of those little elves from with the shoes in the story.
It was you.
Cobbler.
I don't know whether to be angry or proud, but did I take the latter? You didn't have to hide from me, George.
I've grown past you, Dad. I'm tired of making credenzas. They're beneath me.
Beneath you.
Well, yeah. I've got so much more to give. These fingers were made to shape wood. And I think you've got more to give too, Dad.
Listen, I want to support you in any decision that you make, and if you think that this is a time for a change, then far be it for me to stand in your way, but there's one credenza that I had made that I wanted to give to you. I finished it the day you were born.
Oh, yeah?
My masterpiece, my opus. But I had to sell it. You see, we fell into hard times, and I had to sell it to the bushel.
Up on bushel plate?
That's right. And every day I'm just in agony that I did such a thing. I want to get it back. I tried to get it back. They would never sell it back to me. I offered them 3 times the amount on credit. But they said no.
Dad, your credenzas are known.
I'm going to break into their home and steal it. And I want you to do it with me. I want you to help me.
This seems like an awful idea.
No, it's a great
I
idea.
agree with you there, honey. I think that's a bad idea.